One of the difficulties with creativity and critical thinking is that they are very big concepts, and so that I would say that overall, the experts in these domains, they agree on what it is, but it's very difficult to go from these big concepts to teaching practice. So basically, what is creativity? It's the ability to produce something which is both novel and appropriate. So on that, people make some mistakes. People sometimes they just believe that creativity is about drawing something, or it is about expressing yourself, or it's about doing anything. No, it has to be appropriate. It's not just novel. Novel is anything, it can be novel. So it's a very important point that you have to work within constraints, within a system, and do something which is challenging, at least for you in the case of school. In critical thinking, it's about making a judgment. So it's a different type of work. You're making a position, and you are assessing different types of claims, but alternative claims. So here, usually the mistake with the critical thinking is to believe that it is just about being good at logical thinking, being good at reasoning, so that it is enough to be able to argue, to justify your argument, etc. What is very important in critical thinking is also to be able to critique, and so to be able to look at things from, challenge the assumptions. Are these assumptions right? These theories. What are the limitations of these things? Could I look at this from different perspectives? Creativity and critical thinking are essential to incremental improvement. But even if you're just working as part of, you're just, let's say, an employee in some a company, there are a few processes that you should be able to improve, and you can contribute on that. So either by telling the designers that, well, we should be changing that, or just because as part of your daily practice, you just need to continue to improve and look at things differently. We believe that being part of a professional learning community, so being able to talk to other people who are interested in those topics, having examples of how you can do it, then actually will help and support. Usually you need some professional development, so this has to get started. Just, it's like a textbook, it helps, but it's not enough to teach you to do everything, so you need also to talk to real people, your colleagues, and perhaps people who are more experts in these areas. Within countries too, it's very important that they start thinking of, if we take these things seriously, how do we change our assessment culture, our exams, our university entrance exam? How do we create alignment between teaching, learning, and assessment? You cannot just say it's important. At some point, you have to measure what you believe is important, because what we measure is what we believe is important. Creativity and critical thinking are learnable skills. They can be learned, and so you can make progress. Now, it is also true for the technical skills in the disciplines. Not everyone becomes a Nobel Prize winner in physics. Not everyone becomes the greatest musician, or, so that you have different levels, but you can be a decent amateur musician, you can be, not such a good musician, and, and that's true for creativity in a certain domain, or critical thinking in a certain domain, etc. And that's a very important point. Sometimes the teachers are discouraged because they believe that these are the things of the best minds in humanity. And it's true that the best minds in humanity have shown us how excellent you can be at critical thinking or creativity. But it's true for everything. We're in school, so in school, you're writing an essay, you're not going to write the most possible novel. One of the very important things as well for this agenda to happen is, how do we organize the time in school so that this is possible? There is a big challenge with time. Teachers have to do many things. And so what we've realized is that perhaps we cannot do these kind of approaches all the time. And for that, it's very important that we don't believe that the mathematicians, the math teachers, science teachers, they are in charge of critical thinking, that the arts teachers are in charge of creativity, and it has to be, everyone has to be responsible and included as part of his or her teaching all the time. And then hopefully, as a student, I will have enough opportunities to develop a little bit of creativity in arts, a little bit of critical thinking in language, a little bit of, and at the end of the day, I will build a disposition to try to continue that. Not only, perhaps in some domains I will have the skills and I will become very creative, but if I do it a little bit in all the different domains, then that's when it becomes a habit of mine, and I will actually take this when I try to learn something new.